Hello, my friends. And since yesterday evening, of course, the most discussed news is Zaluzhny's dismissal. More precisely, initially, it was the dismissal. Then they reported that Zaluzhny left on his own, and then information appeared that even Budanov would become the commander-in-chief. So in general, everything is very funny. The main thing is that everyone believed it immediately, and the information was changing every hour. In fact, no one dismissed anyone, and everyone remained in their positions. So remember how many times the fake news about Zaluzhny's dismissal has been spread, and think about who spreads these fakes. But I hope that at least most of my subscribers didn't fall for these fakes. And in the madhouse called Russia, they even started spreading information that Zaluzhny announced a march against Zelensky.
Ukrainian columns of the armed forces of Ukraine moved from field camps towards Kiev. Zaluzhny announced the march against the drug addict. Convoys have already been spotted in the Poltava, Chernihiv, Cherkasy and Kiev regions.
Overall, the circus continues. Now, let's briefly look at the situation on the front line. Occupies continue to assault the Kupiansk direction. Today, fighting has resumed in the Sinkivka area. Attacks near the village of Peshanivka are ongoing. 7 attacks have been carried out in the last 24 hours, as confirmed by the General Staff. So, Ukrainian forces are now holding the defense near Peshane and Berestove. Unofficial foreign sources have reported today that the occupiers have managed to capture Kotlarivka. Confirmation or refutation of this information is awaited. There are also reports on social media that the Ukrainian forces have driven occupiers out of Tobaivka. So confirmation is pending as the sources is unofficial. In the Svatove area, the situation remains unchanged. Currently, the occupiers are conducted minimal number of shelling and no new attacks are reported in this area. In the Crimea direction, the occupiers reduced activity today, and fights are reported only near the village of Terne. 2 assaults were carried out, both unsuccessful. However, there is ongoing artillery preparation of the territory for subsequent attacks. In the Syrsk direction, the occupiers are attempting attacks in the Serebryanka forestry. 2 attacks were conducted here as well, but no successes were reported, and there are no changes along the front line. The situation in Bilohorivka has stabilized now. In the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers conducted 3 attacks in the Ivanivsky area within a day. However, near Klishchiivka, the Russians didn't achieve success yesterday and started another regrouping, so this indicates significant losses on their part. In the Avdiivka direction, 13 attacks were conducted in the past day. So the main offensive actions are observed in the areas of Novobakhmutivka and Avdiivka. Combat clashes continue in the Tsarska Okhota area. The armed forces of Ukraine continue to conduct counterattacks and successfully push back Russians from the outskirts of Avdiivka. The Ukrainian forces received reinforcements and a powerful movement has begun. So Ukrainian units managed to turn the situation and the occupiers had to retreat. Therefore, the city remains under the control of the Ukrainian forces despite the complexity of the situation. On the southern flank, Attacks continue in the areas of Pervomaiske and Nevelske. However, as before, everything is unsuccessful for the Russians. The situation remains tense near Mariinka. 6 attacks were carried out during the day, and as before, they are trying to break through to Grigorivka, advancing on the village of Pobeda and attempting to break through to Novomikhailivka. There are no changes along the front line over the day, and the Ukrainian armed forces successfully repel all attacks. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers conducted one attack near the village of Zolota Neva. Finally, there are shelling incidents along the front line, but there is not much activity. In the Zaporizhia direction, the situation remains unchanged. Periodic attacks occur in the Verbove area. However, the occupiers have no success, although the Ukrainian armed forces report that the situation is deteriorating and new batches of occupiers are being brought here again.
Zaporizhia direction. The situation is not very good, they are squeezing, while we are holding on. We record large reinforcements, they carry hundreds with a short time interval, as we can 200 of them here, but every day it is harder. Now we really don't enough missiles to nullify these subways at the time of the entry of convoys into the regions. There are a lot of targets in the occupied territory, if they are destroyed in advance, there will be no such influx.
As we can see, the situation is quite complex. In the direction of Kherson, the occupiers continue shelling the right bank and periodically attempt to push the Ukrainian armed forces from the left bank. However, as before, all the attempts are unsuccessful. Controlled bomb launches from aviation towards Kozatske and Borislav are also reported. So the occupiers describe the situation in this way.
Today, there were slightly fewer assaults on Krynk than yesterday. All of them are inconclusive. As always, assault groups from the 328th Airborne Assault Regiment of the 104th Airborne Rifle Division, as well as groups of the 26th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 70th Motorized Rifle Division, went to the assaults. And today, armored fighting vehicles took part in the assaults again. There are losses, both among the personnel and in the armored fighting vehicles. Are we just interested in the headquarters of the Dnipro Civil Army?
The Secretary General of NATO stated that it's in their interest to provide Ukraine with the weapons it needs.
China and Russia are aligning more and more. How China is propping up the Russian economy, including the defense production. We see how China is repeating and spreading the same narrative about the war as Russia, how China has failed to condemn the illegal invasion of Ukraine. And then we have to remember that just days before the full-scale invasion, China and Russia, President Xi and President Putin, signed a joint partnership agreement where they promised each other limitless partnership. So I understand that many allies are also concerned about China, but that's not an argument for being less concerned about Ukraine. Security is not regional, security is global. What happens in Europe matters for Asia, what happens in Asia matters for Europe, and today it's Ukraine, tomorrow it can be Taiwan. So therefore it is in our interest to ensure that we provide the weapons and support they need.
Meanwhile, the Russians are confident that their military equipment is coming directly from Brussels.
Сегодня мы расскажем историю, которая по своей нахальной дерзости поразила нас самих. Оказывается, некоторые фирмы, поставляющие товары для российского оборонного комплекса, спрятались прямо в центре Брюсселя, буквально в 15 минутах езды от штаб-квартиры Евросоюза, под самым носом у еврочиновников. Но давайте по порядку. Знакомьтесь, это Руслан Лабин. Ему 34 года. Он закончил Московский авиационный институт и учредил в Москве компанию «Сонатек». Как выяснил инсайдер, эта компания поставляет различные приборы десяткам оборонных предприятий России. Сама же берет их из-за границы, в том числе и из Брюсселя.
And that's all for me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.